Hello guys, welcome to the first edition of the weekly digital marketing tips. My name is Vikram Krishnan and today we're going to discuss on how to create landing pages that convert. So just a bit of background about myself. I was working in the software and consulting industry for the last 7 years. I was also a full-time student of digital marketing at the Web Marketing Academy in Bangalore. And right now I'm a full-time digital marketing and social media consultant. So how do you create landing pages that convert? And what are landing pages? Well, think of landing pages in this way. Let's say, for example, you've got a product or service that you want to offer to your customers, and you show that product or service in many different ways. It could either be a banner that you use on any social media site like Facebook or Snapchat or Pinterest, or it could be a banner on any of the advertising platforms like Google AdWords or Facebook ads, or it could just be a simple banner on that you would want your customer to do when he or she lands on your page is to see your offer, which could either be a product or a service, and have the maximum chances of converting that customer into buying that actual product or service. So, what are the good practices that we should keep in mind for creating a landing page? And why do we say these are the good practices? Well, these are good practices firstly because high authority websites like Facebook, they use these good practices and they've seen a lot of conversions, as I'm sure you all know. And on a personal level, I've used this exact same technique for my clients by creating the same landing pages, and they always convert or have a high conversion rate. So how should you design your landing page in the best optimal way? Firstly, there are 7 elements that go into designing a landing page. Right on the top, on the left hand side, the first element that you need to have is an image. Why do we need to have the image right on top on the left hand side? It's very simple. The English language is written from left to right. And let's say you were supposed to read a book. Let's say you were going to read a book. And the first thing you do is scan the page from left to right. Similarly, when the user comes onto your page, this is where the user actually starts viewing your page. So you need to make sure that you have a compelling picture right on top on the left hand side. The second key element is the headline, which you can have right besides your first picture or right below the picture. And the headline needs to be really compelling and something that compels the user to stay on the page and read any product or service that you have to offer. The third thing that you need to keep in mind is the benefits of the product or service that you have to offer. Make sure that you put it down in 3 bullet points just below the headline. Well, you could put more if you want to, but what we've seen is very effective. Is like just having 3 bullet points and not more. And the fourth key element that goes into your landing page is the opt-in page that you have on the right hand side. The opt-in page is where you take the user's name and email address and then try and build a list on top of that. So you need to make sure that it's right somewhere on the right hand side and has a compelling color, which is in contrast to the color that you've used on your headline. The number 5 element is another opt-in box right at the end of the page. Well, the thing is, most of the normally when you design a landing page, you need to make sure that your landing page does not go below the fold. But just in case you design your page in such a way that the user has to scroll down, just make sure that you have a opt-in box right in the end so that you can again capture some valuable information. The number 6 element that goes into a landing page is another image of the same product or service that you're trying to offer, and this needs to go on top of the opt-in details box that you've created on the right hand side. Now again, this is optional because you've already created that image as the first image, but if you want to create it, make sure that it goes right on top of the opt-in box. The number 7 and the most critical element that goes into the page is the call to action button. So the call to action button could be as simple as, say, a subscribe button. So the user enters the name and email address and then clicks on the subscribe button. What you need to make sure on the call to action button is that it has the exact opposite color of the color that you've used for your headline. And now how do you work out what is the exact opposite color? Well, just use an app like Color Wheel on Google. Just search for Color Wheel on Google and make sure that you're using the exact opposite color that you use on your headline. And also a small picture if possible of the product or service that you have on offer. We've seen that maximum conversions happen when you also put a small image of the product or service that you're trying to offer on the call to action button. So these are the good practices that we've seen for our clients, and we've seen high authority websites use for their own websites, and they have a high conversion rate. And so I'm sure like you guys can use it for your websites as well, and see how this goes. So thanks for joining us today, and please do not forget to look out for our next video, which is about creating good ad copies for your website in the best possible way. And so thanks guys for joining us on this episode, and I hope you found this information to be helpful and something that you could put to use on your own websites. If you have any queries or questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email ID or the best place to contact me is Vikram Krishnan at Facebook or Vikram Krishnan at LinkedIn.